Hey guys, welcome back to a new video in React Basics learning series. As part of this project, we are working on a food search application. In the previous few videos, we worked on the design of the entire layout and the styling for the application. As part of this video, we are going to cover the search input box which we need to add in order to implement the search functionality. So mostly the code that we will writing will be under the search wrapper div. Also, as part of this video, we are going to use and design. So if you are not aware of and design, it is a design library. You can search and d and you will find this particular website and design. From here you can go to components. So there are certain components that I want to use from here, so that I need to write minimum styling and we can focus on working on the actual functionality for the application. So let's go ahead and add this library to our project. So for that, basically we need to first install this library, uh, and that can be done using npm install and d hyphen hyphen save. So this is the command that you need to use. So let's copy this from here, go back to our VS Code. If your application is already running, please stop the application. Also, just a second. Now I will use the command that I copied from the design website. This is basically to add this package in our package.json, and the dependencies will be installed. So let's run npm install and d hyphen hyphen save, because this is a project dependency. So once you hit enter, the design library will be installed, and as soon as the library is installed, we can use certain components from the design library itself. So once this command is successful, you will see in your package.json there will be a new library which will get added, like this one, the end design that we just added, and it is a project dependency, not a dev dependency. Now let's go back to our app.js, and we want to import certain things from design. So first of all, we want to use an input box for basically allowing the search feature, supporting the search feature. So, and that will be added within the search wrapper. So let's go ahead and add an input component from design. So once I type input, I'm getting a suggestion. I can import it from design. So as you can see, in case if suggestion is not coming in your case, you can use this kind of a import to import the input from ant library. I just removed some old imports which were not in use. Okay, so once your input is imported, we can add the props, whatever props are required for this particular input. So let's add those prop. First of all, like, we want to add a placeholder text. So let's add a placeholder, and the placeholder will be like search food. So this is what will be shown in the search input. Then we want to use the size for this input as large. Again, this particular size prop is not a standard HTML attribute, but it is provided by the design. So you can look into the input uh, component in design and see what all props are available as part of input, and you can utilize those. So here I'm using size as large because I want to use a large input box so that users can easily search there. This is like the major functionality of our application, right? Let's move ahead to the next prop that we wanna have is like the value, and let's call it search text. And the last one is on change. So whenever basically you type something, right, at that point you want to update some state variable. So for that we are using this on change handler. So let's call it handle search text change. Okay, and that's all. The one more component that we want to use from ant is like a button. and this button will be basically to trigger the search. So in this case, like once you click on the button, the whatever you have typed in this input, that will be taken from the input and it will be submitted to the API that we will be using. And once we submit that value to the API, basically API will give us all the results which we can render in the search results wrapper, right? As part of this button, as you can see, the button got imported from design. In case it is not working for you, then you can just use this kind of import for importing the button. uh, also for button as well, we need to pass some props. So let's close this first, and for this button I am going to give some text. So whenever you see this button, this search, it will show search and you can click on search and then search functionality will be triggered. As part of this button, I want to provide some type. So let's give a type as primary button, and so basically these things impact some of the styling related things, and we are not writing all those styles manually. And so these are the two props that I have added. Now one more thing that we want to add is on click handler for this. Whenever you do a search, right, you want to trigger some functionality, the API call. So we are going to implement the search under this handler, right? So that's why we have added a on click handler. Now just save it. Once you save it and go back to your application and see how it looks. So if I come back to the application, right, I don't know, we have not started the application, so let's first start it. npm start, and it will take few seconds to start. Meanwhile, at this point, so the application will break because the on change handler that we have written here, right, is not yet implemented. Also the click handler is also not implemented, so ideally our application should run into some kind of issues because we have not implemented those handlers. It's still building. Within few seconds we should be able to see the app running. Also, until it loads, I can just give a quick idea around the input component. So here once you land to the design website, you can go to the component section, and then here you can search for the component input. And as you can see, there are two inputs, input and input number. So go to input, and within input, how you can see the all the props which are available, right? For that you can go down to the API section, and in API section you will have all those properties available. So as you can see, the size one that we use, it has options like large, middle and small. In our case we are using the large option, right? Similarly, we have a on change handler, so that's what we are using for our input. Also there was a type, so there is a type here also, and whatever type you provide, based on that it will be rendered. So as I said, like, because we have not implemented certain handlers, also the search text should be a state variable which we have not implemented, so you might see this kind of error. uh, and now let's move ahead and implement these missing pieces. So first of all, like, we need to create a state variable for having the search text. Let's call it a constant, and then search text. The setter method, set search text, and use state. Within use state, we can initialize it with the empty value. Okay. Also, if you are not aware of like what this use state hook is, I would highly recommend you to go back and check my series on the to do application. Here I have gone through these hooks more in depth, like what is ReactJS hook, how to use state hook. So if you want to get some fundamental understanding around these hooks, you can go back and check these videos. It will be helpful for you in order to understand. The next handler that we have written is handle search text change. So let's add that here, const handle search text change, and I will be using arrow function in this case. And similarly we have a handle search, so let's add that as well. I'm not implementing these handlers at this point, but we just want to have it defined so that we don't get those errors. Okay, so if you save all this, search text is not defined. Okay, handle search text change, set search text. Okay, so that was a old error, and as I refresh the application, everything seems to be working fine here. uh, so as part of this video, like, we basically added these input box and button for our search wrapper. Also we added empty methods which we will be implementing in upcoming videos, the two handlers, handle search text change and handle search. Also we have added a state variable here, the search text, which will be holding the search text value. So whatever you type here in the input, right? So let's say I'm searching for a food item like salad, so that will be saved, that basically will be stored in the search text uh, state variable, and whenever you change, this particular handler will be triggered. So in the upcoming video I will implement all these functionality, and from there, like, we will be able to see how the state variable gets updated, and then we can work on the handle search functionality as well. So that's all I wanted to cover as part of this particular video. uh, Again, if these videos are helpful for you, please press the like button, also subscribe to my channel and share the video with your friends, so that everyone can get benefited from it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.